ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Thursday, the 22nd of February. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, and presented as always by Anidjar and Levine. Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Your title sponsor, everything. ZASLOW Show 2.0. None of this is possible without the best accident attorneys around. If you deserve compensation for an accident that wasn't your fault, let them put their skills to work for you. Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Got a fun show planned for everybody today. So glad to have you here with us on a Thursday. A lot is going on. Most notably, we got the NBA back in action tonight. It's been a very slow week, and BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops, all throughout this season, with up-to-the-minute odds, stats, trends. You could follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, a lot's happening here. I told you guys yesterday, I hope you noticed, I told you that I'm back on ESPN Radio tonight, so obviously I hope you listen. But I got the emergency call-in, the last-minute call-in last night. So I was on ESPN Radio last night, 7 to 10 p.m. I hope you guys heard. I was actually filling in for the great Amber Wilson. So I hosted with her partner, Ian Fitzsimmons, for the very first time. It was very last minute. I was happy to do it. I hope you guys were able to hang out with us. Tonight, you're going to listen to ZASLOW Show 2.0 right now. Then you go finish up whatever you got to do around the house, work, whatever. I don't know what you got going on. And then you'll hang out tonight. Now tonight, we got Panthers. Panthers are back in action, so we're going to watch the Panther game. That's at 7. They're at the Carolina Hurricanes. I hate the Hurricanes. They're at the Carolina Hurricanes. Remember, swept that ass right out of the playoffs last year. Remember after the series ended and the coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, it didn't feel like a sweep. My ass, it didn't feel like a sweep. 4-0. It doesn't matter if the games were close. It doesn't matter if that first game I was up till 2:30 in the morning waiting for that game to end. That was not fun. But 4-0, Panthers swept that ass. So Panthers and Hurricanes back in action tonight. I am very excited over that. And then, after you get done with the Panthers, you know what you're going to do? You're going to put on ESPN Radio. You're going to hear me and your boy Q Myers hosting game night tonight. So 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. We got a late night tonight. That's okay. We're into it. So you'll watch the Panthers tonight. You'll get a little late night snack after the game is over. Then put on ESPN Radio. Hang out with me and Q Myers tonight. Game night, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Obviously, I got to get a schluff somewhere in the middle of the day. That's right. I got to take a little bit of a nap and make sure we're all good to go. So this is a weird day so far. I know a lot of you folks, we're dealing with problems all around the country, right? AT&T, I think maybe some other cell providers, got all kinds of outages going on. Like my wife had to call me this morning from her work phone. Her cell coverage is not working. So it's weird, right? How we're all so connected with the technology, and then something happens with our cell phones and we all freak out. You know, when I started, it's so interesting when it comes to not having your cell phone, right? Where just the other day, matter of fact, I got in my car with my son, and I noticed right before we pulled out of my driveway, I didn't have my phone. So I sent my son, go get my phone. He goes, why? What's the big deal? Just go get the phone. And back in the day, like when I was 16, I didn't have a cell phone. I first started driving when I was 16. I didn't have a cell phone, and all right, no big deal. And now, if you drive somewhere, if you go out somewhere and you don't have your phone on you, it feels like you're being unsafe. Which, I mean, there's legitimate concern there. Like, it is unsafe. You should have your phone. You should be able to communicate. God forbid something happens. But it's like, yeah, I was 16 years old driving. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't feel unsafe. It's so weird how connected we are to these phones now and how our lives are essentially very inconvenienced on a day like today when our phone is not working because of something that's not our fault. But anyway, so few things to get to on the show today, but let's start out with a little bit of what happened last night. So, we do a little, figured out a few things that were going on last night. We started doing this and, a couple things here before we get to the meat and potatoes of today's show. College basketball sucks. Miami Hurricanes, they get smoked really from the get-go by number 8 Duke, 84-55. It's a lost season. Now 6-10 in the ACC. Canes are going to miss the tournament. Now, I know they've dealt with some injuries, but overall, it's super disappointing after the greatest season in Miami Hurricanes basketball history last year, getting to the Final Four. And look, Nigel Pack comes back. Norchad Omier comes back. Wooga Poplar comes back. I know they lost, obviously, Isaiah Wong, but... and like I said, some injuries. But man, so disappointing. So they dropped to 6-10 in the AC. They're going to miss the tournament. They're not going to qualify for the tournament. And last night, being at home and getting smoked the whole night, Duke only comes here once a year. That's always a really fun night. It was definitely primed to be a great atmosphere at Watsco Center last night. And instead, just not up to snuff against a team like Duke. And they just get killed from the get-go. So, really disappointing last night. And just disappointing overall that we don't get to, as a Canes fan, we don't get to capitalize off the success, off the momentum that the program really had last year. Now that's going to stop. As long as Larinaga's around, it's all good. But this, and especially considering Norchad Omier, you didn't know if he was going to come back. He came back, and now this season, it's really disappointing. Number 13, Alabama, came from behind. They win in overtime against the Gators. Gators been playing much better lately. Alabama wins 98-93 in overtime. And LSU at the buzzer. Incredible finish. LSU beats number 17, Kentucky, 75-74. The kids stormed the court after the game. So, big college basketball night. Now, as far as, the Marlins, we know the Marlins are a poverty franchise. And the Marlins have no momentum going into this season. Spring training, we got games that are going to be starting very soon. I mean, look, we're at the end of February. Pitchers and catchers already report. Games are going to be starting soon. Marlins are a poverty franchise. I expect nothing out of them. They're not spending any money. There's Bruce Sherman, new owner. He's not new anymore, but new owner, same as the old owner. It's not worth getting riled up about because we know what this team is. We know they're a poverty franchise, and it is what it is. But it is, I should note, they signed shortstop Tim Anderson today from the Chicago White Sox. He's 30 years old, had a very bad year, very bad 2023. But the previous 4 seasons, Tim Anderson was pretty damn awesome. He's a good personality, so fun guy to have on the team. That's your new shortstop for the Miami Marlin fan. So I think it's 1 year, $5 million they signed Tim Anderson. And yeah, I think if you're a Marlin fan, you like that. But that's the kind of bargain basement stuff, the way this team operates. Poverty franchise. So adding Tim Anderson, that's fun. I dig that. If he's going to have anything like the season he had last year, even at just $5 million, it's a horrendous. He was really bad last year. But the previous 4 seasons, 2 of which I believe were all-star years, the previous 4 seasons, he was really good. So hopefully we get the Tim Anderson that's closer to that guy. Now, that's a little bit of what happened last night. Before we get to Inter Miami, so I started the show yesterday with Ian Fitzsimmons on ESPN Radio. And he's like, Zaslow, what? You're bummed out today. What's the matter? So I told you guys, Pearl Jam, a few days ago, released their world tour schedule. They're starting out in the Western U.S. in May. Then they're going all over the place around the world. Then they're back doing the East Coast of North America, like September, right? August, September, October. I don't know, whatever. And so the last 3 days, but the few days before that, as a member of the fan club, the member of the 10 club, I've been a member for, I don't know, probably like 25 years now. As a member of the fan club, you get to put in for tickets. I always get the tickets. It's a lottery system. And then after you get chosen based on the lottery, you get your seats by seniority. So that's how I get really good seats to the show, because I've been in the club for a pretty good amount of time. And anyway, so I put in for one show. Now, it doesn't mean I'm only going to go to, if I got that one show, that'd probably be the one show that I would go to. But I put in for one show because I like how, I don't want to, you put in your credit card, you get charged automatically if you win the lottery. You don't get to choose where you're sitting. They seat you by seniority. So the whole thing is a big gamble. So I don't want to put in for a bunch of shows because what if I win the lottery for all of them? All of a sudden my credit card's being charged $5,000. And these Pearl Jam tickets, while they're super affordable based on other concerts that are out there, $185 a ticket is what we're at now. You know, like it's expensive. It's compared to other concerts, that's a good price, but it's still very expensive. For the first, I found out last night, because it was a 3-day wait period, and then they inform you if your ticket request was fulfilled. For the first time ever, I got shut out. How about that? I got shut out of tickets from the 10 Club for this upcoming Pearl Jam tour. I got nothing. I requested for Philadelphia. I wanted to go to one. Never been to Philadelphia. My son and I, we would go. We would go see Pearl Jam in Philadelphia, the second of the 2 nights that they're playing there. And Philly's a great Pearl Jam crowd. Got shut out for the first time ever. Now, ZASLOW, you've already seen them 26 times. Listen, it's not a competition, all right? I gotta see them as many times as possible. The great American rock band. And who knows how much longer they're going to be doing this for. It's the greatest joy in my life, outside of my children. You have to say that. It's the greatest joy in my life is going to see Pearl Jam, going to see the guys, and WrestleMania, of course. And I got shut out for the very first time. Oh, I'm bummed. You see it? With a tear in my eye. I'm bummed out for the very first time ever. Shut out from the 10 Club. Now, a lot of these Pearl Jam fans, they're so fucking whiny. I'm not mad. I'm certainly not whiny about it because now it's like, all right, they go on sale to the general public now tomorrow. I've already registered for verified fan sale with Ticketmaster. Hopefully I get through there. And hopefully I can get tickets at a decent price, not the premium where tickets are going for like $800-900. But I'm the ticket ninja. I'm going to come up the rest of the day today before the on sale tomorrow. I'm going to come up with a game plan. And plan A didn't work. Now we just got to go to plan B. There's no sense in bitching and moaning like all these sissies at the Pearl Jam member page on Facebook. Such a bunch of whiny bitches. I mean, seriously. Now I'm going to come up with a game plan. We'll figure out how to tackle this situation tomorrow. If you really want to go to the show, you'll still find a way. So I'm going to still find a way. But, man, Ian Fitzsimmons was giving it to me throughout the show last night. Because, yeah, I was bummed. I was bummed that the tickets didn't come through. So we're going to try for Philly potentially tomorrow. They're playing 2 nights in a row at Madison Square Garden. Now, that's the one I really want. I love seeing Pearl Jam at the Garden. I've seen Pearl Jam at the Garden 1, 2, 3, at least 3 times. I think 3 times. I want to go to the Garden. Took my son there a year and a half ago. We went and saw them at the Garden. Best show I'd ever been to. And I want to go at the Garden specifically because I love going to multiple shows, but it's hard at this point in my life. I want to go to multiple shows. Like in Philly, they're playing Saturday and Monday. I'm not spending 3 nights in Philly. It's too much. I want to go to a city where they're playing back-to-back nights, which is so rare because the band, they're old and they don't usually do that. But at MSG, they're playing 2 nights in a row. So I'd like to try and get tickets tomorrow for both nights, Madison Square Garden. Go with my son. He's never done the 2 nights in a row. It's been at least 10 years since I've done 2 nights in a row. He's never done 2 nights in a row. So I think that's going to be my game plan tomorrow. I don't have a ton of hope. It's going to be a really difficult ticket to get. Not quite like Taylor Swift, although the Taylor Swift tickets are easier because she plays in a stadium. Pearl Jam's playing a few stadiums this tour. They're playing Wrigley. They're playing Fenway. We want to go to arenas. Arena shows are so much better than stadium shows. So I think that's my plan. I'm going to try and get Madison Square Garden tomorrow. I don't have high hopes. But even if I get shut out tomorrow, look, I got my Pearl Jam shirt on here. Still wearing the Pearl Jam shirt. Even if I get shut out tomorrow, like I said, I'm a ticket ninja. I'm still going to figure out how to get things done, all right? We're going to be just fine. All right. So anyway, also what took place last night, speaking of Ticket Ninja, Inter Miami, Messi, Luis Suarez, Sergio Busquets, Christian Yedlin, Jordi Alba. I'm just naming a bunch of players. I don't know them all, but those guys I know, and they're really good. Now, you know, I'm an inaugural season ticket holder for Inter Miami. And Inter Miami last night, they got that dub, 2-0 over Real Salt Lake City. They dominated that game. So, and a packed crowd, obviously, and you know what? It's not called Dry Pink Stadium anymore. It's now called Chase Stadium. I didn't know that. Anyway, so I'm watching the entire game while I'm on ESPN radio last night. And from what I could tell, I thought they dominated the game. In time of possession, chances. Oh, while Messi didn't score, Messi had a couple big chances. He's unbelievable. He really is. What's he, 36 years old? He is still unbelievable. By now, everybody has seen the highlight, right? Where a guy lost a 50-50 ball for Real, and he was lying on the ground. Messi comes up with the ball. He dribbles it over the dude lying down on the pitch. Now, when I say pitch, that means the field. This isn't all, I'm a soccer expert, but this is an all-inclusive show. So when I say things, when I'm using my soccer lingo, when I'm saying things like pitch, that means the field, all right? I don't want anyone to feel like they're not like we're not being inclusive. This is an inclusive show. So when they say things like pitch, that means the field. I don't want anybody to get lost just because I'm a soccer expert. Huge crowd last night. Obviously did not go, even though I'm an inaugural season ticket holder. Huge crowd last night. And, we sold the tickets. So what you got to do? You got to make better money. Those Inter Miami season tickets are not paying for themselves. So, to me, it looked like they dominated the game. Now, by the time I got done with ESPN radio last night with like 5 minutes left in the game. So now I put the volume on and we watch the finish. They're up 2-0. And I don't know who was on the call, but the analyst, if you didn't know the score, you would have thought that Inter Miami lost because he was going at. Now, look, he knows a lot more than me, and I was watching the game, but not watching it with sound, and I'm also paying attention to work. So am I as dialed in as everyone else? No. But to me, it looked like they dominated that game. And the analyst is talking about how if I'm the other teams in MLS, I'm not afraid of Inter Miami. I'm watching this game, and this is a beatable team. I mean, like, is that the case? Because he was talking down about Inter Miami's performance. And I'll tell you, I thought Inter Miami had a great performance. Now, I understand that their defense is not so great. Okay, but I think they're the favorites to win the MLS Cup. I thought their time of possession was amazing last night. Messi was unbelievable, and he didn't even score. Are other teams watching that performance last night? They're like, yo, this Inter Miami, they're not that good? And on top of it, it's the first game, but I don't know. Maybe my perception, what I was watching was not the way everybody else feels. Like, am I wrong about that? You can always hit me up at ZASLOW Show, of course, on Twitter, where I'm an influencer, at ZASLOWJ on Instagram, of course. And for ladies, my DMs are always open for all the honeys out there. Make sure you don't forget about that. You know what you also don't want to forget? If you're in the market for a new home, you're thinking to yourself, wow, I want to get a home that fits my family's needs. I want it to be in a good neighborhood. I want to make sure I get a great price. Now, who's going to be my real estate broker? Well, luckily for you, I send you to Matthew H. Maschler, Signature Real Estate Finder. Matthew H. Maschler, your trusted real estate broker. If you're looking for that dream home in any part of beautiful South Florida, one of our main sponsors on It's Still Real to Me, that's my wrestling podcast, which is going to come at you live stream right after Elimination Chamber, late Saturday morning. This coming Saturday, we're going to have a new episode. But also, one of our great sponsors, huge pro wrestling fan, Matthew H. Maschler and Signature Real Estate Finder. You call him today. 561-208-3334 or go to realestatefinder.com. you want to make sure you're getting a home that's perfect for you and your family in the best neighborhood and the best price out there. And you're going to go to someone who knows the entire South Florida area. Now, maybe you're looking to sell one of your current properties. You're looking to unload some of your real estate. Matthew H. Maschler, you call him today. 561-208-3334, realestatefinder.com, or maybe you're just looking to take your real estate career to the next level. You're already in the business. You can join the Signature team. The Signature Real Estate Companies are South Florida's industry leaders, ranked #1 in all of Boca Raton. They have offices all throughout the state: Delray, Coral Springs, Naples, Palm Beach, Orlando. The Signature team is where you want to be. So whether you're buying your dream home, selling your property, or looking to join the best in the business, contact Matthew H. Maschler today, 561-208-3334, realestatefinder.com. Matthew H. Maschler, your pathway to exceptional real estate experiences.